days remembered burns a beacon bright and clear, guiding hands and hearts and spirits into faith set free from fear. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the stories of our living brings a song both brave and free, calling pilgrims still to witness to the life of liberty. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion need to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the dreams of youthful vision comes a new mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion need to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin.
Good morning. We're still trying to figure this out, so thank you for joining us this morning. As we gather, we recognize each of our lives on stolen, native, ancestral, and sacred homelands. We pause to honor the stolen land we inhabit and so often take it for granted. For many, it varies. As for me, where I am today is the land of the Maricopa and Pueblo tribes, in what is known as part of the East Valley, Phoenix area. There is a great variety of rivers, streams, valleys, mountains, climate regions, plants, and animal species on this land of this state. Over the years, numerous groups of people have settled here, beginning with those of the First Nations over 12,000 years ago. Settlers came to the region to take advantage of its abundant natural resources, and in doing so, they poised the land and displaced its people. We pause to this morning to remember the hurt our settler ancestors caused for Native Americans, those of the First Nations, and all of the Indigenous people who gather with us, have ever gathered with us, and those who might dream of gathering with us in the future. We know this land is not our own. We know this land has ancestral life coursing through it, and we invite ancestral spirits to gather around us now.
Hi, my name is Landry Williams, a longtime member of Tennessee Valley UU Church, and I'm happy to share a poem with you I wrote called We Are Worthy. We are worthy, not because of what we produce, but because of who we are. We are divine bodies of light and darkness. You were not worthy because of what you offer, not because of what is in your mind, not for the support you give others, nor what you give at all. We are worthy and whole just because. And this great turning, and this great pandemic, and this radical readjustment and realignment, we are not disposable, we are needed. We are the very people that have withstood everything that has been thrown at us. And as Maya Angelou would say, still I rise. We arise from the pain. We rise from the grief. We rise from the limits people put on us and the limits we place on ourselves. We rise to be the children and the ancestors. We rise to be our true selves in relationship to our families and communities, recognizing our liberating and whole selves, honoring them and others as we strive for abundant communities, abundant lives, abundant relationships, and abundant values and cultural manifestations. You are worthiness personified. I, you, and we are worthy and desire a life where we are not fighting for our very existence. Imagine what we create if we were not always in the struggle. Imagine what we could envision if we were just allowed and just let be to go there. So tired of always having to resist, to fight, demanding, and pushing. To everyone that has the courage, the power, the ability to co-create what we want and need while rooting in what we cannot lose and who we are. You are the visionary. You are the hope. You are our ancestors' dreams. No, you might not ever end up on a list somewhere, but you are on a list in someone's heart and mind. And it's how you move in the world so people can see by example. You are the embodiment of what we need. The embodiment not of productivity, but the embodiment of radical love, care, and sanctuary. It's time, embodiment time. Embodiment. Living one's values out loud. Let me every day live my values out loud. Let us every day live our values out loud. Embodying our values. Not the productivity quotient, beyond productivity, past productivity, true embodiment, life.
Hello, good morning from San Francisco. My name is Joe Chapeau, and welcome to our June 2022 Young Adult Revival Network worship. But before I begin today, I want to acknowledge our beloved friend and UUYARN ministry leader, Camila Jacob. Camila recently suffered a brain aneurysm and is expected to make a full recovery, but that's going to take some serious time. So we'll put a link in the chat and in the description of this video where you can go to her Caring Bridge website, send love, and offer any material support should you choose to do that. We love you, Camila. We hope, when we come back and join the team once again, that you make a full recovery first, because you are seriously such a cool person and we just miss you so much. Now, today's worship is titled A Worship for Young Adult Power. And while we had originally planned a larger event with workshops and speakers, a conference style, it didn't work out. And that's been the story of this last year, not just for Yarn, not just for Unitarian Universalism, but for most of our society. We've been trying to do things and we keep coming up short, or we keep having to compromise and make cuts and adjustments. And that's okay. It's, as the great fictional character Jean-Luc Picard once said, it is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not weakness, that is life. Folks, life has been lifing us a whole lot this last year. So thank you for taking the time today to stop, gather, rest, and reflect. Our opening hymn is Peace Like a River. The lyrics can be found in the order of service. And GP or Blaze, you ready?
I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I got joy like a fountain. I got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I got joy like a fountain. I got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got love like the ocean. I got love like the ocean. I got love like the ocean in my soul. I've got love like the ocean. I got love like the ocean. I got love like the ocean in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river in my soul. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul.
We light this chalice for power, community, the spirit of youth, and fire of commitment. We light this symbol of our faith as we gather together. Oh, my bad.
As we share our joys with others, those joys are multiplied. When other hearts know our joy shines all the brighter. As we share our concerns, our community can offer its care. When other hearts know our sorrow, our burdens becomes lighter. This is the time in our service when we offer witness and support for one another's journeys. Please post in the chat if you have a joy or a concern that you would like to share with everyone today.
Emily has a joy. She's starting grad school this week.
Olivia is joyful to be here. We have gratitude for going camping this weekend with one's partner. Grateful for a beautiful backpack during the last long weekends. Prayers for someone's aunt who is in the ICU. Our prayers and thoughts are with you. We have concern for the violence in Oakdale, Buffalo, and other recent gun violence. All of your concerns are valid and they are all received with joy and compassion. We have gratitude for putting love above greed. If anyone would like to share, please do so now in the chat. We have joy for the end of the church year. For your joys, we are grateful to share in that joy, and for your concerns and sorrows, we are with you, and we will hold you in this moment and in this worship space.
Remember the sky that you were born under. Know each of the stars' stories. Remember the moon. Know who she is. Remember the sun's birth at dawn. That is the strongest point of time. Remember sundown and giving away tonight. Remember your birth, how your mother struggled to give you form and breath. You are evidence of her life, and her mother's, and hers. Remember your father, he is your life also. Remember the earth, whose skin you are. Red earth, black earth, yellow earth, white earth, brown earth. We are earth. Remember the plants, trees, animal life, who all have their tribes, their families, their histories too. Talk to them. Listen to them. They are alive poems. Remember the wind. Remember her voice. She knows the origin of this universe. Remember you are all people and all people are you. Remember you are this universe and this universe is you. Remember all is in motion, is growing, is you. Remember language comes from this. Remember the dance language is, that life is. Remember.
Hello, everyone. For those who don't know, my name is Joe Chapeau. and I am now the executive director oops, of the Young Adult Revival Network. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we had planned a larger event for today. We had hoped to have a couple speakers, maybe some workshops, do some small groups, works, do one of these conline events we've done in the past. But things changed. Certain leaders suddenly found themselves unable to contribute. Timelines started stretching, presenters turned us down, work was delayed, other higher priority things came along, and soon we realized we just couldn't do a conference. And it's okay. We've retooled, been dynamic, and adapted. And that is one of the great powers of young adulthood, the ability to be flexible. But let me be clear. I am so tired of being flexible and dynamic. I am worn from constantly having to change and adapt this last year, because my God, it has been relentless. And I'm pretty sure y'all know what I'm talking about. Remember last fall? Remember how cautious or uncautious reopening was? I mean, I work at the San Francisco congregation. We were tracking attendance, monitoring distancing. We built vaccine records. We tested and tested and tested and wore masks and more masks. And oh my gosh. Remember just trying to do basic church stuff and how everything took more effort? How many of us realized we had grown accustomed to our Sunday morning routines at homes, only suddenly to have someone be like, hey, you should get up earlier and go to another place to do worship. Remember December? Remember the holidays? Personally, my favorite time of the year, and it does have to do with the fact that my birthday is in December. Remember how the whole month was just felt like a regression back to the quarantine? Folks, let me tell you, we spent more time planning the Christmas Eve service that last year than we ever have before. All the logistics, oh my God, I could go on. Only for us to have to cancel it the day before it went on because we had a COVID exposure at the prior Sunday service. I will never forget sitting in my living room. It's about 6:30 p.m. on Thursday, December 23rd. We had just canceled Christmas Eve service, and we had just canceled my family's Christmas Eve party, which I throw now. And I was just sitting there, and I look around, and I'm like, well, now what do I do? I had all these plans tomorrow, and now I literally have nothing to do for the next 3 days. Ugh, it was so awful. And the re-lockdown, let me tell you, that was terrible for my mental health. I got back into a rut I was just getting out of. And during all this time, in our faith community, it's been so rough. We've seen the capacity of our lay leaders just shrink. We've seen staff and congregants fight and really get into it. Numerous committees and groups at all sorts of organizations and congregations went defunct. Elders passed away. We had 5 people die in the San Francisco congregation this last year. That's a lot. People are depressed right now. Heck, we can't even get enough volunteers to usher and greet Sunday morning. This is like fundamental church stuff that we can't even get enough people to do right now. So now imagine trying to do a new online-only, young adult-focused, young adult-led online ministry during this pandemic, during this time. Oh my gosh, Zoom fatigue has been brutal for YARN. So many people stopped participating out of just sheer exhaustion from sitting at a computer and looking at a screen. Attendance in many of our programs has unfortunately been declining. We discovered the ability, capacity, and the limits of our fundraising abilities, and learned a lot about how we actually get the word out about yarn. I found myself saying it's okay over and over and over again in many situations full of disappointment and letdown. Because what else is there to say when 5 people RSVP and then no one shows up? Or when you can't get enough folks to greet Sunday morning. Folks, this is a faith community. Getting mad doesn't work. This isn't a business. I can't fire anyone. So I have to say it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And it's okay that it's okay. Because for all the doom and gloom the last year has brought us, we're still here. And we're still growing. And we've had some great successes and astounding wins, not just in my congregation, but YARN itself. We have vastly grown our fundraising prowess. We've raised over $5,000 in the last year, thanks to generous grants, donations, offertories, and more. We have bylaws and a board of directors. That's like the kind of super boring thing that's super important. You don't think about it until you have to actually make one and put a team together. Shout out to our new treasurer, Kate, our secretary, Emily, and our board president, Lucretia. And that also means me, the white guy, isn't the sole person in charge of this situation any longer. I now have 3 people I am accountable to, along with my supervisors at the San Francisco congregation. Our small group program was a huge success. We've had a couple dozen folks sign up for it. People really want small groups. They want the opportunity to have intimate, vulnerable conversations with a group of their peers. We have a chaplain program. It's hilariously underused, but it exists and people are grateful because when they access it, they get what they need. They get the connection. And we have an outreach coordinator now. Shout out to Ash. And they are really building what I've now called the next phase of the Young Adult Revival Network, where we're actually going out and connecting with all the local young adult groups and bringing them into the network part of Young Adult Revival Network. But most importantly, the word of YARN continues to spread. The word of this organization, this ragtag pirate ship group of people, continues to get out there. More and more these days when I mention, oh, I run the Young Adult Revival Network, people actually know what I'm talking about. And that's not my doing. That's y'all's doing. That's my leaders sharing about what they get up to in their religion. That's participants talking about the programs they attend. That's someone saying, oh, I read it in a newsletter, because they read their professional newsletter and they check for these resources. That's a congregation contacting me out of nowhere. Oh, we really, really love your work and we're sending you $200 and we're starting a young adult ministry. Folks, that is like the kind of power where you don't even know what you're doing at that point, where you don't have any access to like what you actually did. You're just kind of vibing and suddenly someone else is like, oh, I like that. And that's what this power is. We at YARN have a mission to transform and totally blow up and renew the young adult situation in our religion. And people believe in that. I have not met a single person who doesn't believe in what we're trying to do. They are vastly inspired and want to see us win. And when everyone around you wants to see a win, it doesn't matter how hard it is. It doesn't matter how much the pandemic changes things, because everyone's pulling for you. So yeah, it's been really hard the last year. And I've definitely felt it in my heart. But I can't say that we failed. I can only say, well, we've had a lot of challenges, but we have succeeded and we're going to keep succeeding. because this is it, folks. This is our religion, and we're living it right here and right now. And I can tell you that the people who are coming up today inside Yarn, or people who are now beyond Yarn, those are the future leaders of our religion. We're creating them right here, right now. Now, before I go, because I can seriously just keep talking all night, I have a problem. I do need to thank a few people who I've never felt like I've really been able to properly acknowledge in a public setting. These are Yarn leaders who have moved on for the most part and want to be acknowledged, because there are so many people who contribute to this project. The first two I want to thank are Beth Ann Kope and Ivy Bravigal, who have worked on our communications and conline work a whole bunch. They were early leaders during the pandemic, and they really gave themselves to making things happen. I cannot tell you how many times both of them said, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm going to do it anyway. It was so inspiring. Beth and Ivy, much love, and we're always here for you wherever your adventures take you. I want to thank Sean McCaffrey, who ran our Countering Oppressions program. This was just another great attempt to create a anti-racism program within Yarn, a space for people with privileges to actually talk about them, be vulnerable, and see what they could do and unbox them. So thank you, Sean. That's some really, really difficult work you took on. I certainly was not interested in leading it, but you were, and you held that space. So thank you very much, Sean, and best of luck with whatever you get up to next. You know this home is always here for you. But the last person I want to thank, I really couldn't thank enough. And quite frankly, he'll be back. And that's Roddy Biggs, a rising star in Unitarian Universalism. Like someone who clearly, if they stick around in this religion, is going to be like a voice like you've never heard before, who we're going to talk about. And we get to say at Yarn, yeah, we fostered that when it was brand new, because Roddy came in right at the beginning of the pandemic and was like, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I want to contribute to. And he has given himself like I've never seen anyone. I think I'm dedicated. And then I see how Roddy does things, and I'm like, that's the kind of person I want to be in this religion, who is just constantly going out there and spreading the good word of Unitarian Universalism, while also holding us to account. Because, folks, we are a very white community, and my God, the racism and all the other isms are very present in it. Roddy, you're a rock star. Thank you for letting us be the community in which you started to become the amazing minister that you already are. I cannot thank you enough. So to all the four folks, thank you for all your major contributions to Yarn. For any other person I haven't mentioned or didn't want to be mentioned, you were amazing, and thank you for what you gave. And of course, if you want to get involved with Yarn, just reach out. We take we take anyone over the age of 18. Yes, that includes folks over 40. We find a way for you to contribute. So thank you for coming today. Thank you for your time. And if you can, please consider donating to Yarn. There'll be a link in the chat in a moment, in the order of service and the description of this video. And we'll be taking the offertory for Yarn. So the offertory, and we'll also now have our closing hymn, How Can I Keep Singing by Robert Lowry.
That hails a new creation.
Whoa. Sorry, 1 second. Everything decided to disappear right now, so we're doing great. Our closing words are a blessing for risk takers and failures by Robin Tanner. Today we share in a blessing for losers, risk takers, all failures far and wide. Blessed are they who fall in the mud, who jump with gusto and rip the pants, who skin the elbows and bruise the ego, for they shall know the sweetness of risk. Blessed are they who make giant mistakes, whose intentions are good but impact has injured, who know the hot sense of regret and ask for mercy, for their hearts will know the gift of forgiveness. Blessed are they who have seen a D or an F or a C or any letter less than perfect, who are painfully familiar with the red pen and the labels as less than, for they know the wisdom in the imperfect. Blessed are they who try again, who dust off, who wash up, who extend the wish for peace, who return to sites of failure, who are dodged in their pursuit, for they will discover the secret to dreams. Blessed are they who refuse to listen to the naysayers, for their hearts will be houses for hope. Blessed are they who see beyond the surface of another, for they will be able to delight in the gift of compassion. Blessed are they who stop running the race to help a fellow traveler, who pick up the fallen, who stop for injured life, for they shall know the kindness of strangers. Blessed are they who wildly, boldly abandon winning, for they shall know the path of justice.
Sometimes it creeps into our lives when we're not looking and least expecting. When that happens, it's wonderful.
Your love keeps lifting me higher than I'd ever been lifted before. So keep it up, keep quenching my desire, and I'll be at your side forevermore. Yeah, your love keeps lifting me higher.
So high.
And I'd ever been lifted before. So keep it up, keep quenching my desire, and I'll be at your side forevermore.
You walked in my life when I was all alone, brought light to a spirit that was halfway gone. Listen close when I spoke, gave me all I need. Not physically, spiritually, you planted a seed. Every breath I breathe when I walk in the street. Not obsessed, I just love everything you be. A shame you ain't see the same treasure in me. Never meant to hurt, shatter, or break your heart. The old saying's right, things fall apart. So I take it in stride, tell myself to maintain. Every morning that I wake, it's you tapping my brain. Same way the morning rain tapped the window pane. Quite depressing, take it as another life lesson. Keep on sketching these songs of love till you're back in my arms and we live as one. You've inspired every lyric that I wrote in this song.
Your love keeps lifting me higher,
so high,
than I'd ever been lifted before. So keep it up, keep quenching my desire, and I'll be at your side forevermore. Yeah, your love keeps lifting me higher,
so high,
than I'd ever been lifted before. So keep it up, keep quenching my desire, and I'll be at your side forevermore.
was the first time I ever laid eyes on you. Had Koof going through it like what to do. How you walk and talk, sophisticated and fine. A devilish smile to let me know you was wild, that's all peace. I see a little me in you. In time we could find that feeling's true. Not every day I come across someone like you. So now I thank Jah for the blessing sent. Vibrant as sunshine with an oil scent. Had me bugged out thinking of the future so quick. Just one glimpse you had me open, miss. Before your presence I was emotionless. Now I'm lost in the waves of your ocean, miss. All good, there's no more loneliness. Just days of love that'll end in bliss. And a lifetime together that'll start with a kiss.
Your love keeps lifting me higher.
So high.
And I'd ever been lifted before. So keep it up,
Keep
quenching my desire. And I'll be at your side forevermore.
love.
Yeah, I'll be at your side.
Love.
Yeah, I'll be at your side.
We believe there's no power on this earth that's greater than love. So we invite you to embrace it. Shower yourselves with it and share it. Love.